All right.
Hey guys.
Happy Wednesday.
Wednesday, halfway
Made it
through
to
it.
Wednesday.
We have a jam-packed show today.
We do.
really do.
With lots of good friends.
Including one that's on the couch right now, which we'll talk about soon.
We'll see. We'll see. Hey, thank you. I said thanks you. Thank you so much for joining us for KARE 11 News at noon. It's incredible to believe that we are less than 24 hours away from the state fair. Are you ready? Yes, we will be bringing you an update on everything that is new.
And then tonight, Governor Tim Walz will be in the spotlight, taking the stage at the Democratic National Convention to accept the VP nomination. So I'll have more about that in a bit.
So many things about that. But first, let's take a look at this weather.
Yeah, another nice day today. It is sunnier today than what we saw yesterday, and that's going to help to warm us up. Right now we're at 73 degrees. Some parts of the state are already in the mid to upper 70s. On our way to near 80 by this afternoon. Still have the comfortable humidity. And notice on our radar satellite composite, we're not seeing a whole lot of cloud cover yet, but that cumulus field just starting to develop with the heat of the afternoon sun. I want to back things up a little bit. You will see some showers and a couple of weakening thunderstorms out over the Dakotas. A piece of that system is going to move over our neck of the woods later tomorrow into tomorrow night. That's going to give us our best chance for showers, but honestly, it's a pretty small chance. This is what it looks like outside as folks hit up, I believe that's hole number 3 on Brookview, just across the street from our station. We'll see if they make that putt. Here's your hour-by-hour forecast. You can see temperatures rising well into the 70s today. Lots of sunshine. Overall, a picturesque summer day is in the forecast, and that pleasant weather should continue the rest of the week. Again, the best chance for rain is going to be Thursday night, but we could see a stray shower or two during the middle part of the day on Thursday. Does not look like a big deal. We'll track that heat and humidity making a big return this weekend. Coming up, Alexis.
Ben, thank you. It's Governor Tim Walz's night in the spotlight. In a matter of hours, he will take the stage at the Democratic National Convention to not only give the keynote speech, but to accept the VP nomination. So, Cece, I know there will be very special people to the governor with him there tonight. What can you tell us?
Yeah, it's going to be such a big night at the DNC. We'll hear from some big names tonight, including former President Bill Clinton, Representative Nancy Pelosi, and Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg. All that before the main event where Governor Tim Walz formally accepts the vice presidential nomination and delivers a speech. Early this morning, we were in contact with the Harris Walz team. They told us that in his speech, he'll highlight the values that he learned growing up in a small town in Nebraska. He said they shaped his service in the National Guard as a teacher, football coach, member of Congress, and governor, and he'll promise to bring those values to the White House. Governor Walz will be nominated by Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar and Ben Engman, a former student. Meanwhile, just a few hours ago, Representative Dean Phillips was live on CNN. Here's what he had to say about Walz.
I think America's getting introduced to just a genuinely good guy. And in politics, there's not a lot of normals. And his superpower is his normalness. And I'm thrilled. And I think he might be now the 3rd Minnesota Democratic vice president of the last 6 Democratic vice presidents. So like Amy Klobuchar always says, in Minnesota, when you have a baby, you sit him on the lap and say, one day you too could become vice president of the United States of America.
Also in Walz's speech, more on what Vice President Harris will do for working families, and he'll call on the American people to work together to elect her president.
Cece, thank you. If day 3 of the DNC is anything like last night, we are in for a spectacle. The ceremonial roll call included celebrities and a DJ spinning for each state. Our political reporter, John Croman, brings us a look.
Minnesota's delegates here in Chicago admit that words like electrified and energized and revived are kind of overused this week, but they still apply to what they're feeling, especially after hearing from former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama. Well, the delegates came here knowing that they'd already nominated the Harris Walz team in a virtual vote earlier this month. But that roll call is always a fun tradition at conventions, a chance for each state to tout its accomplishments and its ties to the party's history and legacy. From Minnesota, the honor went to a former Tim Walz student, Hans Storvig, former Viking great John Randall, and Senators Amy Klobuchar and Tina Smith. The delegates that we talked to, both the young ones and the old ones, told us they're feeling a great vibe here in Chicago. The delegates we talked to say that they understand this is more of a party or a pep rally intended to give the candidates a bounce on the campaign trail, but they also told us they think they're part of something truly historic here in Chicago. At the United Center, John Croman, KARE 11 News.
And of course, for more on the DNC, stick with KARE 11 this week. John Croman will continue his live reports at the United Center in Chicago starting tonight at 5. In just an hour, former President Donald Trump and his VP pick, J.D. Vance, will be in North Carolina for a national security event. In the last 24 hours, the pair split up to talk about crime and safety. In Michigan, Trump said crime is out of control. He says he would make a record investment in hiring and training police officers. Meanwhile, Vance stopped in Kenosha, Wisconsin, where he talked about how he's prepping for the debate with Governor Walz.
Well, I found a good friend from back home who embellishes and lies a lot, and I'm having him stand in for Tim Walz. That's what we're doing during our debate. But look, all kidding aside, what we're going to do is we're going to focus a lot on policy.
And the vice presidential debate is October 1st in New York City. Harris and Trump meet on the debate stage in Philly on September 10th. Well, today, police have a suspect in custody after a shooting outside a Minneapolis mosque Monday night. Jennifer Hoff walks us through what happened and why police are calling the victim a hero.
Minneapolis police say they arrested the person they believe shot an elder who had just left a mosque on the city's north side Monday. The 75-year-old worshiper was trying to break up a drug deal when police say he was then targeted. He was shot 3 times and is in stable condition at the hospital, while the suspect is being held on unrelated charges and police say is somebody already known to them. The chief and other mosque leaders are calling the victim a hero, saying public safety is everybody's responsibility, not just law enforcement, to ensure crime is not pervasive amongst communities.
A 20-year-old woman from Mounds View faces several charges for a crash that killed a pregnant woman in Coon Rapids. We got a hold of the court documents in the last 24 hours, and according to police, Michaela April Sua Richardson's blood alcohol level was nearly double the legal limit while driving Sunday night. Police say she ran a red light, hitting the other car as they turned. 26-year-old Melinda Tao died in the hospital. She was 5 months pregnant. The driver also suffered broken ribs. As your students get ready to head back to school, the U.S. Department of Agriculture is asking you to be aware of potential food allergens. The USDA says 1 in 13 children across the U.S. has a food allergy. To make sure kids are safe in the cafeteria, experts say that parents should be aware of the most common culprits like milk, fish, eggs, shellfish, tree nuts, peanuts, wheats, and soybeans and sesame.
Children are young, they're in school with friends. If your child has food allergies, label their food so that others are aware of any restrictions that they may have or be aware of any allergies that they may have. Also teach your child to, wash their hands before and after eating.
And experts also recommend including non-perishable food options so you don't have to worry about anything spoiling before lunch. The bird flu is spreading across Minnesota farms. To combat that problem, the State Department of Agriculture is accepting grant applications for farmers to get help. The MDA says it can help livestock producers buy and install preventative equipment for their operations. Applications are due by October 31st.
Well, we're keeping an eye on some consumer news today, including a recall for BMW drivers. The car manufacturer is recalling more than 720,000 cars and SUVs because of a fire risk. It impacts these 12 models on your screen from years 2012 to 2018. The issue is a faulty seal on a water pump, which could cause a short circuit and potentially a fire. BMW says you'll be notified if you're affected in early October. Well, for the first time in a year, Target sales are up. Reports show the company's sales rose 2% last quarter, and profits are also up 36%. The Minnesota-based company attributes the change to price cuts on 5,000 items. It says foot traffic has increased, but still expects customers to spend carefully for the rest of the year.
Well, we are officially 18 hours from the start of the state fair, and that means it's time to get a game plan down. Michelle Beck shows us a tool that can help navigate the crowds.
Let's see if we can break the record for most people on opening day, set 5 years ago when more than 130,000 people walked through these gates. Hey, and this year you might want to keep this app in hand, the MN State Fair app, just because it tells you everything that's new about this year's fair. That includes 2 new midway rides, the Kraken and the Defender. And expand your palette with 33 new food items and 63 new beverage options. And expect more transportation options as well. The fair is expanding a few weekend parking lots to be available for everyday parking. As for a different kind of change to keep in mind, you won't see any dairy cows participating in live births. That's due to the bird flu outbreak.
And Michelle, thank you so much. And now is the time to act if you want a pre-fair discount. Friends, what do I always say? If it's a discount, we could what? Work it out. While most adults will pay $18 for admission, a one-day ticket can cost $15 if you buy it today. Well, if you're headed to the State Fair, come visit the KARE 11 barn at the corner of Judson and Nelson. We have live shows weekdays here at noon, 4, 5, 6, and Saturday morning. And of course, you can join me again in the barn at 12:30 for live interviews and a special fair version of Foodie Finds every single day.